Hello, my friends, and welcome to the Pathway channel. Today, I will share with you two cases, two Hodgkin lymphoma cases. This is the first one. From this power, the 20x, we can see some red dots here, and these are eosinophils. So when you see eosinophils in a lymph node with this number, you should suspect the presence of Hodgkin lymphoma. So can you see this one, eosinophil, another one, another? They are all scattered all through the tissue. So this is one of the signs. The background for the Hodgkin lymphoma can contain or should contain some inflammatory cells. It might be neutrophils, eosinophils, some plasma cells, and sometimes in the mixed cellularity we'll see histiocytes. From this power also, let's see this large cell. If you compare this cell with the small ones, yes, there is a big difference in size. And also this one, it has like multiple nuclei inside. So this can be considered a Reed-Sternberg cell, and we'll see it on higher power. We can see also from this power something very dark here and another area which is very dark, and these are the mummified bodies. So the Reed-Sternberg cell can present in several shapes. It's either mononuclear, multinucleated, it's either to be mummified. Sometimes they have the bilobed nuclei with conspicuous nuclei inside, and this will give us the owl eye appearance. Let's go on higher power. Yeah, so this cell, I consider it Reed-Sternberg cell. I'm trying to focus, yeah. And this is a mummified body. And actually I discovered, or I noticed that the mummified bodies, I can notice them from low power as dark dots. These are also mummified bodies, this one and this one. Let's go see the other case. From the low power on this case, I hope you can appreciate that, yes, we have lymphocytes. This is another core biopsy, but with the lymphocytes, we have this interstitial fibrosis. We can also note from this power, though it's not that clear, that we have these red dots. So we have inflammatory backgrounds because these red dots, they are eosinophils. We have interstitial fibrosis plus the lymphocytes present. So this is, at this point, we suspect that this might be a Hodgkin lymphoma. So we need to go at a higher power to see if we have any Reed-Sternberg cells. So this one is a Reed-Sternberg cell showing this large size, showing this lacunar emptying or pre-nuclear clearing or halo. So this is Reed-Sternberg cell. And from this power, you can see the eosinophils. They are much more here, and the interstitial fibrosis or these histiocytes in the background. So this we diagnose this case as a classic Hodgkin lymphoma mixed cellularity type. So in this cell, I consider this like a typical one, large cell, and we have bilobed nucleus, and in each nucleus we have this dot, which is the nuclei, and this is giving us the owl eye appearance. So this is a Reed-Sternberg cell. By having this criteria, the Reed-Sternberg cell scattered in between, by having the inflammatory background, by having this mixed cells or the interstitial fibrosis, we diagnose this case as classic Hodgkin lymphoma mixed cellularity type. And now I'll go with the stains to demonstrate these cells and to see what are the important stains to be ordered in case of Hodgkin lymphoma. Just before we switch to the stains, these are mummified bodies. As you can see, they are very dark and they are scattered in between. So this is another character. And here we have another Reed-Sternberg cell with this perinuclear halo around. This may be considered again Reed-Sternberg cell with these two nuclei appearing. So let's go for the stains. I like to see the stains from a low power to see the whole tissue. So this I will start classically by testing whether we have any B cells, because as we know, the Hodgkin lymphoma is a monoclonal lymphoid neoplasm derived from the B cells. So as you can see here, the CD20 is positive and it diffusely stain the B cells. We have clear areas with no stain, like these areas. This might be T cells or other background cells, but we have B cells. Okay, I'll get back to CD20 later on, but let's see the characters or the special stains that we need to order for a Hodgkin lymphoma. First, and the most important, is CD30. And CD30 in the classic Hodgkin lymphoma, it stains the Hodgkin cells. So as you can see here, we have some dots, and these dots correspond to the Hodgkin cells. So number one, CD30. I will go on a higher power to show you that these cells, they are really big, and they are the Hodgkin cells that we saw on low power. So I hope you can appreciate the size of these cells. These are Hodgkin cells. So number one, CD30, and it's positive. I will show you the next stain. It's CD15, and CD15 actually can work. Sometimes it does not work. So the important one is CD30. So this time we have some cells stained by CD15. And this is the picture on high power. So these are, yes, these are large cells, but it's not the same frequency as we saw on the CD30. So don't forget, CD30 should be positive for these cells and CD15. Let's go for the reverse. So CD45 should be negative for these cells. CD45 is a pan-lymphocyte stain. So all you can see here in this field, these are cells, lymphocytes stained by CD45, but the Hodgkin cells will be negative. So how can we identify the negative cells from this massive and diffuse stain? I will tell you how. So let's go to an area where we can see some gaps, like this area. I'll go on higher power. And we need to compare it with other stains. So I will mark this area. Let me adjust the field. So as you can see, all stained cells, they have this membrane around, which is a sharp membrane, meaning that this cell is being stained, and they are all small cells. But look at this gap. It's very wide, it's very large, and it's not taking the stain. All the stain around it is just the stain of the other cells surrounding it. Look at this cell, how it's big in comparison to the surrounding cells. So this one is not taking the stain, it's just surrounded by stained cells. I'll try to put it on a lower power. Maybe we can appreciate it more. Okay, so look at this area. See, all cells are stained, but you have this gap not stained. These are large cells. And if you want to confirm your observation, you should go to the H&E and see that you have these large cells in this area. So I'll get back to CD20 because the Reed-Sternberg cells in classic Hodgkin lymphoma, they lose the B cell antigens. So I will go for the same area, which is near the tail again, and we can see that many B cells, they are taking the stain, but I will go on a higher power to show you these gaps in between, which I suspect these are the Reed-Sternberg cells. Okay, so the focus is adjusted. If you can look at these small cells, they take the stain. Because they are small, they are having the smooth membrane. Look at this one with a gap here. So this confirms that this large, the size is important, it's large, and the borders, they are not uniform borders. So we have a gap here. So this is not taking the stain of B cell. Another two cells here, and a gap is very evident between them, showing that they don't take the stain. And another cell here with no, again, with no membrane, or it's not taking the stain. These are the Reed-Sternberg cells. So we have positive CD20 for other B cells, but not for the Reed-Sternberg cell. Accordingly, this is another big cell not taking the stain. And these cells will lose the transcription factor, the OCT2. So again, we do not expect these cells to be stained with the OCT2. I'll show you some cells here. So all these stained cells, these are B cells. But again, let's see this area and focus on this area. See this cell with this big nucleus? It's not taking the stain in comparison to this small dot around it. These are mature or normal B cells, but this is abnormal. It's not taking the stain. So this is another character for the classic Hodgkin lymphoma, which is losing the B cell markers. The mom test, the mom1, is mostly positive in these cases, and as you can see here, it's staining some large cells. Some of them might be plasma cells, some others will be the Hodgkin Reed-Sternberg cell. I will try to write all these stains on the screen so you can see them while seeing the slides, but these are the most important things to be ordered in a Hodgkin case when you suspect it. CD30, first CD20 should be ordered to confirm presence of B cells, then CD3 or CD5 for the T cells, then you go for a specific staining CD30, CD15, to be positive in classic Hodgkin, CD45 will be negative. Accordingly, CD20 will be positive for normal B cells and negative for Reed-Sternberg cells. And the transcription factor OCT2 will be lost together with BOP1. And the mom test or the mom stain should be positive. Thank you for watching this video. Please like and subscribe to our channel.